Hello again and welcome to the online space of I'm Not a Mistake Foundation. As you know by now, my name is Nelly and I'm here today to talk to you about adoption and depression. I'm going to talk to you about my situation because I lived it, and each and every person that has ever gone and found out that they were adopted, you must understand every person is different, every situation is different. So I'm not necessarily pro or against adoption. I just feel that sometimes, the systems, and I'm talking about many, many years ago, some of the systems could have been better equipped. Well, my story was actually that I only found out at the age of 42 that I was adopted. Look, I did suspect it when I was about from 12 years old, and I tried to, trick my mother into saying things, and from time to time she did mention something, and I could understand at the various ages of my life that she really didn't ever give birth to any child. But I plugged up the courage when I was 42 to first and foremost speak to my cousin and tricked him, and he obviously then said, yes, you are adopted. And then I found out that both myself and my brother were adopted, and we were from both different families. I personally, my whole life collapsed within 2 seconds. I cannot explain to anyone, and I've been trying to explain the feeling that you get when you feel, now I know why I'm always been so sensitive or so angry and so hurt and whatever. And for me it was just so bad because I felt like I just fell out of the sky and I was blip. I was on the ground and I've got nothing. I had nothing to hold on to because the medical information I thought that I was given was not the truth, and so a lot of other things. Having said that, it took me a period of about 7-8 years going through a very, very tough time and fall into depression without me knowing. And that is the one thing that I want to say to you. It always takes an event. Doesn't matter what kind of event it is. In my life there were various events, but this seemed to be the last breaking one that, like what they normally say, they broke the camel's back, was for me is the day when I found out, and I heard it from my mother. And I was very not, and again, we often talk about people are wearing masks, and yeah, I'm still wearing a mask because I told my mother at that point in time, no, it's okay, it's grand, it's whatever. And she asked me, well, are you going to look for your biological mother? And I was like, no. But things change, and obviously my story is just way longer, and it was filled with a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And from my side, I can just tell you that any adoptee, don't ever use 2 words. Don't tell me I should be thankful, and do not ever tell me that I should be grateful, because I think that it is not the truth. About adoption, there is always a sad story. It's never ever a happy ending. 99% of the time, the biological mother wants nothing to do with you. You have to relive that rejection again, which you again cannot explain because it happened to me. Again, it just tumbled me deeper into depression, and I just didn't know. But I ran to the doctor and I started getting one depression pill onto another. I went for counseling, I went everywhere to just try and make sense of this feeling that I don't belong anywhere. A feeling of I'm a mistake. I was angry, I was hurt. I wanted to hurt other people the way I was hurting. And the depression is something that you cannot say, okay, on that day, tick, now depression starts. Because by the time I realized I was so far down that I was in this pit where nothing mattered. I was planning on how I'm going to take my own life, because in my mind, and whatever, and I'm not a stupid person, and I don't think anybody is stupid, but in your mind, you tell yourself you don't belong here, so just remove yourself. So, and that is in the deepest and the deepest and the deepest of that depression. A lot of people also ask me, and they say to me, but Nelly, how did you feel? My answer to that is I felt nothing. Okay, I didn't care. When I decided to end my life, it was not for attention. I didn't tell anybody, I didn't warn anybody. I took the 160 sleeping tablets. I took it at 7 o'clock at night. I only knew that my housekeeper will be in the next morning at 8 o'clock. So I was 100% convinced that I will not see the next day. Well, the one thing I did, I wrote not even a note, I wrote an essay to first and foremost inflict more pain on the people that caused me to be there, and then also to tell the people that I truly care about, thank you for everything that they've done. A lot of people say to me, but they think that it's a cowardly way out, to which I tell you, don't ever call somebody that has truly taken or tried to take their life a coward, because you are not a coward. It takes a lot of guts to do it. For me, I am 100% in agreement that in the wake of what you've done, you leave so many unanswered questions, you leave so much pain and destruction, and you leave everybody with questions about why and why didn't you reach out. So for me now, it is vital that I say to you, please, when you feel that way, when you get to that level, and you will know, because you know that watching me, you know the feeling, you know when you're down there. I like always say, you know, rock bottom is rock bottom, but we, suicide survivors, we've got the basement. And when you feel you're at the basement, I ask you and I plead with you, please, 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 reach out to somebody. There's national telephone numbers. I Am Not a Mistake has got a 24-hour suicide hotline. Please just reach out and don't do it. Things in life can be rectified. Look at me today. 3 years ago, I was an absolute hot mess. Not that I'm not a mess now, but I'm a decent mess. At least I can talk to you, I can tell you about the pain and the agony, and I understand you. I understand what you go through. A lot of people don't understand. They ask questions. How did you feel? I was bombarded with questions. What did you see? Nothing. Where did you think you were going to land? I don't know. I didn't care. So before you ever get there, please, and when you are a suicide survivor, I think it is your responsibility to tell people, to warn people, to inform people of how you feel. I mean, even with the data that I'm gathering now, every person is different, every scenario is different. But I ask you ever, never ever, we are a very judgmental generation. We want to judge everyone. And I'm sorry, I don't judge no one. No one on earth. I don't judge anyone because I'm in no position to judge. But never ever judge anybody or anybody's situation or circumstances, because I tell you what, the wheel turns. Someday you might find yourself in that same person's shoes. And then when you reach out, you're going to hope and pray that there are people like me and the people that help me, that they are around to actually pull you out. Because I can tell you one thing, the way back is the hardest road you will ever travel, but I promise you it's the best way, because you will be so much stronger and you will be so much wiser, because you know what? God will give you wisdom. He will give you so much wisdom that you will understand, and you will have the empathy, the true feeling to care about other people, to make sure that that never happens again. So if any one of you have a question about adoption, depression, and suicide, please do not hesitate. to contact I'm Not a Mistake Foundation or to contact me directly, because I really truly want to help, and I am truly not ever going to judge you whichever way you decide to do it. It's up to you. But I ask you, reach out and please ask for help. Your life is so worth a lot. You would not have been on this earth if there was not a purpose for your life.